Record. Hey everyone. Tonight, in honor of Mad's big birthday, which has not yet happened, um, we are playing Surreal Estate, uh, which is what I'm calling Haunted House Hunters, um, by Sweet Potato. It was available in the Racial Justice Equality bundle, so you probably own it, and it is definitely worth a look. My name is Donna. My pronouns are he, him. I am running the game and playing the realtor. The realtor is called Noah Miller. He is a youngish man with simple, though devilishly sharp style. He's a demon. But nobody knows that, obviously. So let's get a. We're just getting into character generation. So let's get a quick introduction from our players and their characters, and then we'll go a little bit further in our character generation history. Mads, let's start with you.
Okay, so I'm Mads Shive, and loved tabletop role-playing games for a very long time, and I'm so glad to be playing with a bunch of wonderful people, very wonderful, talented people to be able to bring these games to life. I'm playing Emma DeRime tonight. She, her. She's 36, wears glasses, has dark hair, always wears hoodies, plaid trousers, and combat boots. And she is a video editor, and she has a YouTube channel that does, essays, vlogs on place history.
Okay, great. Michael, how about you?
So my name is Michael. I use he, him, or they, them pronouns, and tonight I'll be playing Connell Mackenzie, he, him, and basically, since you two, well, all three of you are playing some hotties, I decided to play a grumpy old man who is also a YouTuber, and his look is he has a long impressive ginger beard. He wears a lot of flannel and a slider cap and rubber boots, and he most of the time has a skeptic or judgmental look on his face. And his specialty is making YouTube videos about nature, about gardening, camping, that kind of stuff. Pretty outdoors guy.
Okay, great. Thanks, Michael. And I think, at some point in time, maybe after our first break, we're definitely going to put you on the spot for the names of your YouTube channels, right? So start thinking about that. And last but no means least, Kate.
Hi, yes, I'm Kay. I use she and they pronouns, and I will be playing Carver Wright, he, him. He's a bit of a young gun. His look is young, hardworking muscles, swoosh hair, flannel jeans, and boots. He is a construction YouTuber, like a fixer-upper kind of guy.
Awesome. So yeah, everyone has their hustles well established. So let's dig a little bit deeper into the relationships between you all. So Kay, do you want to maybe talk about Carver's relationship with one of the others?
Yeah. I think Carver, when he was doing his when he was getting up there in viewers, and he was like, okay, how do I expand my content? He reached out to Connell because he was like, hey, you know all about nature. I want to start doing like backyard content, front yard content, and things like that. And I need to learn plants. I need to learn like what like goes. There's this whole like sustainability movement happening right now about local agriculture. So like I don't want to get yelled at for planting a redwood in a birchwood area. Maybe you can help me for them with this kind of vibes.
How does that sound, Michael?
Yeah, sounds good. So I'm kind of your well, mentor would be too much, right?
Yeah. But you're like someone who I've gotten to know, who I've come to teach me how to nature correctly.
Mm.
So do we think there's any um, kind of unbalanced or asymmetrical aspect to this relationship? You know, do both sides see it in exactly the same way, or where's the kind of fault that exists here?
So I definitely think I'm your mentor.
Yeah. You definitely think you're mentoring me. And I'm like, this is a wonderful business relationship
Mm.
between two adults.
Yeah. You collab from time
And
to
you know,
time, right?
definitely will. Yeah, and I'm taking like an holistic approach, so it's not just about business because I'll be giving you advice, unsolicited advice for everything you do.
It's so good.
Perfect. Michael, how about a relationship between Connell and Emma then?
Hmm. 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 So your shtick is video editing, right?
That's the main hustle. And then like, my YouTube channel is all about like, talking about places and vlogging about its history without being seen. Like, so my face does not appear in my videos at all.
And I think there's been like something like a misunderstanding or such. So I perceive you as my rival.
Interesting. I'm not sure why you would think that she's
If that might work. I mean, it doesn't have to be like both ways.
yeah, maybe well, I
Or
mean
I
like,
see you as
go ahead.
a competition or something.
Hmm. I mean, like, I don't think Emma sees you in that way. I mean, like, I think she sees you like, having a good viewership, like, you have an interesting channel, you have an interesting take. It's your take. I mean, like, it's totally your take on this is your like, how you perceive nature, how you excuse me, what you know, like you're giving a bunch of your knowledge base and everything like that. And it's like, she finds you interesting because like some of it has dovetailed with some of the things that she's researched in some of these areas, in some of these local areas to us.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so I've got another idea. I mean, it doesn't have to be reciprocal. You can pick something else for your relationship to me, but let's make it a bit more wholesome. Maybe I'm like one of your biggest fans
oh,
in
okay.
terms of commenting and so, but I will never admit it.
Right.
So
No,
obviously I'm
oh,
using different usernames and whatever.
oh, that's so amazing. Wow. I mean, like when you deal with me, like, I mean, I'm used to your direct manner. I mean, like, I like, I feel that you will say it like it is, but you'll always be gruff to me. But I mean, like, I appreciate your content and I'll tell you so, but you just kind of like wave
Mm,
me off.
yeah.
Okay, that sounds great. Um, yeah, and Mads, how about a relationship between Emma and Carver then?
Hmm. I think I think Carver has asked me to help with excuse me, some of the video editing on his channel because I mean like,
Oh,
he's busy he's busy being being the content creator and you know, getting his his pretty face out there and yeah, I mean like, it's too much for him to try and do any more than the most basic of edits. And then like, we met and he's like, oh, you do video editing, like, you do like, more of your own video editing. And then maybe he looked at some of my stuff and
I
goes,
think
yeah,
I think Carver didn't even realize you like had your own place history YouTube. He thought you were just like a video editor. Maybe
right,
we like met at like some kind of YouTuber event.
yeah,
And I was like, "Oh, are you a video editor? Are you looking for like a channel I can pay you? Like, I don't
yeah,
know if you're working for right now, but I could really use someone who knows more. Like, I'm great with like wood in my hands, but like computers escape me a bit. Like, oh my God, Mads, he is a construction YouTuber.
oh, I know.
And I'm sure Carver has never said that on his YouTube channel and
Never,
gotten a lot of comments.
never,
Never.
absolutely never. There's never been a misplaced time spurt of wood glue.
Uh-huh. Oh dear. Okay.
Sorry. Mm. But yeah, I think I like that idea that he's just like so that he's like, oh, it's like, you want to do some video editing work? It's like, and she's like, sure, because I mean, yeah, it's money. Sure. Her stuff isn't as what's the word? Isn't as labor intensive when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I mean, since she doesn't even appear on film, it's not like she has to worry about too much B-roll because
Yeah.
it's all like, place stuff or maybe like some stock images or whatever. So to her, that's easy. And your stuff is a little bit harder because it's like of camera placement, like close-ups versus like, the B-roll and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, she's totally willing to do it and he's willing to pay. So
Yep.
sure.
And how does Emma view Carver, just as a payday, or what's the dynamic on the other side like?
I guess like, she thinks he like he's he's an up and comer. I mean like, his he's pretty, what's the word? He's pretty, that's one. But then he's also very engaging. Obviously he's got a decent viewership. Gee, I don't know why. No, I'm kidding. No, because he's gotten some good jumps on his views um after he's gotten some better editing in. And so Emma considers him proof positive of her ability to do this, not only for her own channel, but for other people's channels as well. So, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, like, what do you call it? I mean, like, payday, but it's like a decent working relationship, I guess. You know, he gives her the work, he pays for it, and then, like, she's able to, like, he's part of her portfolio, basically. I don't know what you'd call that.
Yeah, I think saying that Carver's channel is part of your work, you take credit for it, maybe. Okay, awesome. Um, so the other things you have to decide are your wants. So the things you want in the house. I would tend to, as a group, do these first before you move on to the no-nos, because then some of the no-nos can directly contradict someone else's wants. And then after that, your psychic power, whether it's latent, unknown, or whatever. and then your your budget, how much you are willing to spend, go into debt, whatever, to get this house. So I would give you like a couple of minutes to noodle about your wants. Think about what you really want in a house, and yeah, have a moment to go through that. So, yeah, how about we do a quick round of our wants. I imagine in the show this is part of the introduction on camera to each of the characters. So if you want to do it in that style, that is good for me. Mads, why don't we start with Emma?
Sure. So I imagine it's like, they edit in a clip of interviewing Emma, and of course, like, they take themselves out of it and then just kind of like clip in like, her responses. It's like, yeah, I really enjoy houses that have staircases. I don't mean, the dinky ones that are like, a few steps, here's a landing, a few steps, here's a landing, and then like, kind of like that. What is it, split level? I really like, solid staircases. It's like just, one floor to the next, like straight up and down. And I really need office space. I mean, I don't care what anybody else does, but I need to be able to have like at least 4 monitors worth of space just to be able to see all the screens and make changes and all this kind of stuff. And so, any office big enough to accommodate that would be fantastic. And hopefully decent internet. And then it would be nice to have a big kitchen to just kind of hang out in. I mean, I love breakfast nooks and what have you. I mean, like just to be able to sit around a breakfast table and just hang, or look bleary eyed at somebody else across the table and commiserate over coffee. And I like to bake cookies in my spare time when I have time.
Okay, fantastic. And do we see a particular type of background in the shot, or is this just like on location?
This is on location.
Okay.
Like I would imagine it's like, they've kind of like maybe settled her down like outside on a bench somewhere. Like maybe we're walking in a park, and then we've kind of just like stopped and been like, okay, like, tell us what you're looking for and all this. So
Okay, awesome. Michael, how about Connell?
So basically, you get a voiceover while he is chopping wood outside, and Carl says, "Well, the most important thing for me is a fireplace." to gather my friends and hang around in the evenings when nights get cold. And obviously, I need a big garden, maybe some trees and landscaping. And since I'm busy doing all my YouTubing, I obviously need a house that doesn't require too much maintenance. I don't want something that I, have to keep decorating or do paint jobs all the time. And then he has like a huge pile of firewood and walks to the next fireplace and starts a fire.
Awesome. And Kay, how about Carver?
Yeah. We see Carver, much like he is in the image, except that he's wearing this like long sleeve flannel shirt, but the buttons are undone as like along some of the front as he stands, and he's like stretching in front of like a large window space that's like almost like a wall, a window wall. He's like, well, we definitely got to have like large windows in what we're looking for. You know, good lighting is good for the shooting with 4 YouTubers. We definitely need that. And then he like goes to stand up from a crouching position, and suddenly you're in a new area, and it's one of the houses that are featuring a project he's been doing on his YouTube. He's like, you want a house, you know, unlike this one that I'm fixing up. You want a house that has good bones. As he like reaches up and like touches some like clearly distinctly like incorrectly placed wood beams that now make it almost like sideways instead of straight, affecting the boundaries of the home. And all of a sudden he like jumps up as if he's gonna go to press it, and we see him land back down like in like a bit of a choppy editing as he's in a new home that's finished. And he's like, do you see this crown molding here? I actually rescued this from a Victorian home that was condemned. Original crown molding, absolutely aces. But things we don't want to see. And he like jerks a thumb, and it's another new view of him at a house. These bulky stairs are no. They take up way too much space. Like sometimes you can do like undercarriage storage, but depending on where the placement is of the house, that could affect structuring. So if you're gonna have stairs, you're gonna want something that's a little smaller, maybe split level, or you're gonna want something winding that again has just the staircase effort, but not too much interior of your house space. And electric stoves, absolutely not. Worst kitchen moves ever.
Brilliant. Yeah, so let's snake back around to Connell's no-no. So one or two things that you definitely don't want to see in this house. And yeah, uh, directly contradicting or maybe orthogonally so on any of the other buyers' wants.
Let's see. I think what's the proper term for like a building that doesn't have like an attic or second floor or basement?
Like, I mean, a bungalow or a
Oh, like
cottage
a
or
ranch
something
Bungalow or
like
style,
this.
ranch. Yeah,
a
ranch
ranch style
style
house,
or bungalow. Yeah.
ranch style house,
Yeah.
all one floor.
Yeah.
So how to phrase it as a no-no? It's probably other floors.
Yeah. You could totally do that.
Stair. I mean, stair. I mean, I guess we don't want to have everyone hating on stairs, but you know,
I mean, well, because
Yeah.
you can also call it like, maybe from all of his nature walks and everything, maybe Connell's got like bad knees. So in a
Mm.
way I would get that, not that I'd like it, but I mean like, I get it.
Yeah. And I think Connell has um some pets that he likes to set free, and they don't like too much light, you know. So too many windows would be a no-no.
Okay. And I mean, and then
And they could escape as well.
and does he say that on camera, or do we just understand it from something we see in the background of his, rustic cabin house?
The thing is, I'm not really too familiar with like some critters that might prefer the dark. Well, I mean, like, this is a comic game, so I could say he has bats.
Oh boy.
He has a colony of bats, which are gonna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we just see him showing it to the camera crew without speaking, and just telling them to be
He's
quiet.
probably even
Yeah.
holding one very gently and petting one.
Oh yeah.
I mean, have you ever seen puppy bats? They're so cute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are they called puppy? I don't know. They are now. Thanks, Michael. And Mads, how about Emma's no-nos?
Oh, she's gonna totally, turn to the camera on that clip and just be like, well, I mean, I'm taking my allergy medication right now, which is why I'm okay with this walk that we're on. But to be honest, I mean, like, I just don't want a flower garden that we have to worry about, because generally there's like, so much pollen, and then, like, my allergies are really bad. It's like I think yeah, you know what? It's like I have my inhaler with me, like, at all times, just to be sure that I'm gonna be all right. And then, like, I take, 2 allergy medications, and then, like, also do that nasal rinse stuff like every morning. So I mean, if we can avoid the flower garden, fantastic, and then yeah, large windows, because they're usually like off measured. You can't get any curtains, like, good curtains for them, and then even if you could, they were very expensive. And honestly, I can't deal with that much light glare on all my monitors. I mean, it's like if I leave the windows, like, fully open, like the curtains, like, off of them, I mean, I'm just looking at light glare like all day, and I can't deal with that. And also heats up the monitors. I mean, like, no, I can't have overheated equipment. Not again.
Okay. And before we come to psychic powers, I think another part of your intro on camera will be your budget, you know, and maybe this is a little bit confessional, because obviously you can't let the realtor know how much money you're willing to spend. Um, so what do you think? What's Emma's budget situation like?
She has resources. I mean, like, since she does video editing for other people as well, not just Carver, and also, part of her own stuff as well. And she's got a decent viewership. I mean, like, she has built up some savings. And so, I mean, like, we're saying, like, could probably have, I'm gonna say, like, in the aspect of whatever it is for Vancouver, I think that's what we're talking about, then, like, probably could afford a decent four room house. Yeah. With multiple floors. Yeah.
And Michael, what about Connell's budget?
So currently he's living out of his van, and he's willing to trade that van for a new house. But it's a cool van, so don't worry.
I guess the bargain basement joke will be made at some stage, right?
No.
Okay, and how about Carver?
Carver is of the mind you got to spend money to make money. After all, at the end of the day, at the end of this collaboration, he's planning on selling this house.
Okay, excellent. And so finally, the cherry on top, the psychic powers that your characters, knowingly or not, have. Um, who has some ideas? And do you think we get a hint of this on camera, um, whether or not you're aware of it? Okay.
So I'm a little unsure about this part, because I know you had mentioned when we were talking about the game about like unknown being a thing. Like if we put unknown even to us, is that something you as like the ST will configure for us into the story, or do we need to make something ourselves? Or
So if you say want your character so everyone's going to have some kind of psychic power,
yes.
um, something supernatural that no one else can do. And if you say, oh, well, my character doesn't know they have it, then let's see if it comes out during play. We might we might engineer a situation where it becomes really useful, right? to see it come out. So it could be any of those classic psychic powers, divination, um, psychokinetic powers, be a fire starter, speak to animals. It can be anything. Um, so whatever, and maybe it kind of works with your hustle. Maybe it is completely unrelated to it. Whatever you think would be fun to see eventually on screen.
Okay. Do you mind if we move on and I'm going to take a minute and think about it?
Sure. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Michael, do you have any ideas for Connell?
So currently, I'm looking at a list of psychic abilities, and I think I'm gonna go with xenoglossy, which is the ability to suddenly learn and to write and speak a foreign language without any prior knowledge.
Okay.
And he's definitely not aware of that.
Okay. And so that, I guess, could come out in like speaking in tongues or just surprisingly being able to speak a language. So that sounds cool. And maybe there might be some arcane writing or ghostly emanations in a dead language coming out. I mean, I don't want to foreshadow anything, but that's definitely going to happen. Mads, how about Emma?
I've already come up with a thing that possibly like got captured on film. So I'm thinking in the midst of this interview again, like we're out in a park somewhere. And she said like what she's looking for in a house and her no-nos. And I think that they're wrapping up the interview, and I think there's a nearby ball game that's happening, and then you can hear the distinct crack off screen of somebody like really hitting a home run type of ball. And after you hear it, like a few seconds later comes this white shape that barrels towards Emma, and she's still talking, but she just kind of bats it away because she kind of sees it, and then she just kind of bats it away. She doesn't touch it, but then you see the white shape like kind of like take an unnatural like off to the side, and like maybe the camera will pan to what it is later on and go, huh, that was a baseball, yeah. And so it's captured on the clip.
I mean, I think what we might see right before we take our break is Noah walking over after that interview and picking up the ball, and maybe it's like the leather is split or something, and looking at the camera and like chucking it up into the air and like nodding like he knows something is on. And the ball never reappears. It just goes out of frame and never comes back down. But that's obviously like because they cut it right before. There's like
Mhm.
nothing
I
supernatural
think
going on there.
I think I figured out Carver's situation. So I think in like the scene where we maybe see it a bit is I think he has like a shape shifting ability kind of vibe, but he doesn't necessarily, he's not aware. So we get a scene of him like, or maybe of Noah or someone watching a reel from one of his videos where if you watch it at first, maybe you just think it's the camera angle, but as you look, he grows immediately 2 inches taller to properly, like at first looks like he's on his tiptoes, but then it shifts as he's trying to like hammer in a beam and doesn't even realize that his body is shape shifting to give him the extra height that he can reach. He just thinks he's on his tiptoes and never really thought much about it. And so, that's only a smidge of what that shape shifting could be.
I mean, that's so unfair. Carver is ripped because he's a werewolf. Okay, that is.
Yeah, he shape shifts. So like, yeah, suddenly he's got more muscle as he goes to like have to lift up a lumber, like he thinks he's got it, and we see like the shirt get a little tighter across his shoulders as the muscles just come to him and his shape shifting.
I want to say that there's a scene, like, this could be a deleted scene, whatever, that where like Emma's is video editing, like, and it's nighttime, and like, she's got like, 3 mugs of coffee like next to her or something like that, and she's looking, and she's editing this clip of you doing this, and she's just like, wait, what? Because basically she's seeing your 9-pack, okay?
Yeah, and who knows how far these shape shifting abilities can go.
Right, and then she basically like takes a mug and then drinks it up and then keeps going.
Like, I've had too much coffee. I'm seeing things.
Oh yeah.
Emma is not sharing that fan service with the rest of the internet. No way.
Oh
No.
no.
That's just for her. That angle.
Okay.
Cut that out of the video.
Great stuff. Let us take a break. Welcome back. So yeah, I think this is the first time we see the realtor, the host of the show, Noah Miller, on screen, and he is doing his promo intro piece. Well, now that we've met all of our buyers for today's show, let's take a look at these properties and see which one grabs their eye. So if you all turn to the properties tab, this has a quick intro to the 3 houses we'll be viewing today. So, what I have for you all is a set of interesting houses. The first one is an old gatehouse on the edge of a picturesque estate. More about that anon, but yeah, I just think it looks, beautiful and evocative in some kind of strange way. It draws me in, and that's not just the big gate part of the gatehouse talking. Our second property couldn't be more different in terms of placement. This is what I like to call an Art Nouveau masterpiece in the historic city center. I mean, as historic as Vancouver ever gets. Sorry, Vancouver. And our third property today is this cozy suburban cottage with surprising depth. And those surprising depths are nothing but good, I assure you. So what do you think, people? Do we want to go visit one of these houses? What do you think, Carver?
Yeah, no, they definitely sound interesting. So, like you said, property number 1 is on a picturesque estate. Are we just getting the gatehouse, or is there like an actual estate house also?
So you're just getting the gatehouse, because if
Okay.
you were getting the estate house, I would have led with that. Believe
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, no, that's what I figured.
The
Property
estate
number 2.
house and the estate in general is held by a very private individual. So you will have no, well, I guess you have some duties, which is to keep the gatehouse open for them to pass through from time to time. But other than that, you're a hands-off tenant, or they're a hands-off landlord, however you want to put it.
Okay. Yeah, no. I would say property number 2 then. From the picture we have in this portfolio, I really like the windows and the lighting on there. Also, being in a city center is kind of cool. Right in the action. It's also going to only go up in value.
Well, I don't like to say it, but everything in my property portfolio is always going up in value. So now is your chance to buy. Get in on the ground floor, as we say. Emma, how about you? I see a sourpuss in your face, but I'm sure that's just because you're thinking of the best angle to approach these from.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I like the idea of the picturesque estate. I mean, like, can probably drum up some content on research on these things. City center, I mean, yeah, interesting looking for definite sure and traveling to and fro is very easy because of transportation, but yeah, I mean like that estate looks really interesting. Yeah. What do you think, Connell?
Well, if that fella living on the estate is rather reclusive and doesn't bother us, we should give the gatehouse uh, a chance. Don't really like all those windows and stairs in the city center. And suburbia, well, you know what they say about suburbia. And he glares in the distance without explaining what he's meaning.
I mean, like, just like, because Emma looks like she's just about to ask you, and then she's like, oh, that's probably not a good thing to do right now.
Well, I'm told that our viewers across the Atlantic will know exactly what I mean when I say suburbia is the Marmite to challenge everyone's taste buds. You either love it or you hate it. But it sounds like we have some kind of consensus, a minor miracle. Let's head into the country and hit this old gatehouse. So property number 1 has its own tab. I mean, it's telling in this game that the properties have more space in the character keeper than the characters. We should call this a property keeper. So, let me introduce the property, and then you can briefly give your thoughts. With the driveway to a private estate in the distance, this multi-level gatehouse still retains a mix of classical and baroque features. Might be a tight squeeze for a large family, but you'll find cubby holes aplenty in the attics. In terms of budget, people, now, obviously the location is out of the way. It doesn't have that constant rat race of property prices in the city. And also due to your obligations to the landlord in terms of maintaining the driveway, or at least the entrance to the driveway, we've gotten a significant bump down in the price to compensate you for those efforts. And like you said, a recluse will be no trouble at all. When are they ever? So yeah, why don't you have a quick word amongst yourselves? Think on camera, obviously, about the location, the budget. Do you think that you'll be able to make it work? And then let's go inside and take a look.
Yeah, I think I mean, obviously they have a camera peering over one of our shoulders or something like that, I'm sure. And it's like Emma will just gather the other two and just, I mean, it couldn't hurt to look. And
Yeah.
I think we can all cover it. I mean, to be able to, let's just see if it's something that can accommodate all of us, at
Yeah.
least space wise.
The exterior, I mean, would be a good project, and like he runs his hand over some of like the ivy that's growing there. Could definitely do a lot of cleaner fixer upper exterior videos and settling on this. Uh, hey, should we call you like host or Noah or like Mr. Miller?
Oh, no, it's just fine.
Uh,
Let's keep things casual.
so Noah, is this a buy opportunity or are we leasing this from the estate?
Um, that's a good question. So I'm treating it like a buy opportunity, but actually it's like a 99-year lease. So um, yeah, it's a bit of a peculiarity of the buyer, of the owner of the estate rather. They can't outright sell it, but a 99-year lease is good enough for everyone, right?
But we were planning to flip it at the end, so I don't know if
Well,
that's.
Oh,
yeah,
wait,
you
wait, wait,
can.
wait. Emma's like kind of like, putting a hand on your shoulder. Were we?
Yeah, of course we were. That's the whole point. We're not going to live together forever. It's just
Well, I mean, and then she's kind of like, like gesturing. It's like, we'll be with you in just a minute. And then it's like, it's like,
So he withdraws, but obviously the cameraman just
oh
leans
yeah,
in.
the cameraman's.
Yeah.
I know, but I mean, it
Take
is what it is.
over.
Because we're used to it as well. Because like we're selfieing ourselves, like like
Oh yeah, the whole time.
Mm.
So I mean, like we understand the camera in our face. That's fine. So anyway, Carver. I mean, at the very least, if this is viable, then I mean, I don't see any reason why. I mean, worst comes to worst, it's like I'll buy it off of you or whatever. Because I mean, if this works out, I mean, like I would not mind staying out here. I mean, like it'll be a good place to stay out of all the you know the hubbub and the city mess. I mean, that sort of thing.
I guess if that's what you want, you could buy me and Connell out of it. But like that's gonna get expensive.
Well, let's just see. I mean, like I'm sure we can work it
Okay.
out.
Okay.
And if you think it's not structurally sound enough that it's worth
That-
it, and we just flip it, okay. I mean,
yeah.
maybe we'll use them for something else. Like maybe like I can ask Noah to put me in another direction, right? I mean, like he's got more than one property for us.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, but just so we're all clear, he like looks at Connell and looks at Emma. We're getting a place to buy. We'll spend a year or two living in it, fixing it up, documenting series on that.
Okay.
Then we're moving, right?
Okay.
Well, I mean, if it's just the right place, why should we move?
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe our channels, they, you can never tell,
right. And it also
Yeah.
could be like a headquarters. It's like
That's true. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it could be.
so.
We'll see what price we get it at.
Just right. Just a
Yeah.
thought. I mean, like I just wanted to make sure that you weren't gonna like flip it in the next 2 weeks. I mean, like
No, that takes like time. The whole plan was we could do like 2 years worth of content for all of us.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, all right. Just want to make sure. All right.
You can't flip places in 2 weeks. I know, like my skip alongs look quick, Emma, but like you can't flip a place in 2 weeks.
Hey, you know what? Like people are doing some weird stuff with time lapses these days. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, you make it look easy, all right? So
I do. Yeah.
yes, you do. All right, let's go. Let's go talk to back to Noah.
We're all still friends, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. No,
Okay.
we just
Great.
had to like smooth over, what our plan was. It's fine.
So
Yeah.
show us the place.
Carver, if you really want to ask about how we flip a lease, I'll get my lawyers to look it up. We'll figure something out.
Well, yeah, I mean I've flipped leases before, but if some guy's got a big estate like this, contract work might be difficult. But like let's go take a look.
Okay. So what we do here is that we'll start to introduce new rooms in the house. We'll like move through the house. It doesn't have to be in any logical order. So Kay, we'll start with you. You can introduce a room in the house, and then we'll move around the table to talk about features in the house, features in that room. or in that space. So, and they don't have to be supernatural. They can be a little bit eerie depending on the house. They can be completely normal and totally not supernatural, honest. Whatever piques your interest. Um, and as people introduce new features, it's a good idea to have like little descriptions or scenes for your character's reaction to those, especially if they are on your wants or no-nos. Um, and I will, if there's any strange features, I will completely justify them and smooth away all of your concerns. Totally. Um, and I guess when we've each introduced a feature for the room, we move on to the next one. So I would say we'll have 3 rooms with 4 features in each house. Let's see how it goes. So okay, where do we
Yeah.
think where do we think we see Carver arrive at first in the house?
Yeah, so I think he goes to open the door expecting an entryway, and instead it's a room that is impossibly large for the size we see outside. It's a very large kitchen. And Carver kind of steps in, his boots squeak a little on the tile, and a small amount of dust kicks up as he looks over and whistles a little because he hasn't seen. It's like a picture book straight out of the old days, but he's like, wow, the exterior really doesn't highlight the breadth of space in here. Takes a couple steps inside and looks at the original stone flooring, bends down a little and brushes his finger over it. It's like, wow, this is really well maintained for how dated it is.
Well, I'm told the last occupiers were very fastidious about maintaining the authentic nature of this house, and I just love the stone. It's so, um, I've been here in the dead of winter, and it really isn't as cold as you would think. It really seems to store that heat.
Yeah. I I can't make out the filigree on it, but it looks really pretty.
Yeah, I can't really answer to the nature of that, but sometimes I've thought it's almost like writing, but no, it's just a filigree design.
Yeah, no, it's probably just like, detailed to make it look nice, but it's really cool. You could definitely, clean this up and that'll shine really nicely. And it's like got a good depth. It's not like high mask or high fem energy either on it. It's just like clean.
Um, Michael, what feature do we think Connell picks out about this uh, insanely large kitchen entrance room thing?
So I think he walks into the room and um, gets quite excited and says, "Is that Marvel?" And there's a huge block um, in the middle of the room, and this could actually be like any surface to do whatever you want, but it could also be a sacrifice altar. And we at this point he doesn't really know what it's supposed to do or be, and
What a fantastic marble countertop table to make this.
yeah, and he goes there and looks from every side of it, and it's like it's just perfect.
Yeah, and I think if you wait for the light later on in the day, you'll see um, this beautiful shimmering dark maroon marbling in the stone. It's just exquisite. It really, I'm drawn to this every time I'm in the room. It's just impossible not to be the center of attention. You know, it's
Yeah.
it's begging for, um, I don't know, some grand cooking experiment. You know.
It's really cool how the above lighting, like that ceiling light, like the window up there, the ceiling window, just like aligns perfectly with that.
Yeah, yeah, and come sunset, you know, I don't know how they've done it, but it always seems to capture that last glimmer of hope. I mean, light.
Yeah, no, really cool. That's a good spot.
Emma's eyes are lighting on what's further out in the kitchen, which is what looks like a big stone oven with like a more modern door to it. And she will, like, while they're talking about this marble thing, she'll go looking over um at the oven and then kind of like opening it up and like, you know, seeing it's like it's got like, you know, like decent racks and it's like got a lot of space in it and such. Pardon. And she just kind of looks over from the oven and then looks over at the marble thing and she says, that truly is marble. I can like, you know, work pastry on that thing. It'll stay cool enough that I won't, you know, like melt the butter while I'm working with the pastry, and then I can try and finally figure out how to bake croissants, you know? So I mean, like, this I'm really liking this detail.
Well, I'm not much of a baker myself, so I'm gonna have to bow to your expertise here, Emma. But I mean, when you bake your first batch, you got to bring me back. I'll bring the coffee.
Deal. Or just cookies, whichever. I mean, but I mean, this is amazing. Look at this space. I mean, and
Yeah,
then
it's
like
like,
what the room? We have like room for I mean, if we want to pull up stools to this thing, I mean that's fine too, you know, but I mean there's even room for like a minor trestle table or something like that. And we could just kind of hang out over coffee in here.
yeah, yeah.
So now something I'm not sure about now that I think about it. Why why was this room not even? It seems like there's like a bit of a slope and there's a big sink in the middle over here.
Yeah, I mean, I have to think that the stone needs to be cleaned, and it's just easier if to get that water into the drain if there's that slight slope. I think it's something we see in a lot of old buildings. You know,
Okay.
maybe a bit odd. And maybe if you're playing marbles on the ground, it's not going to work so well. But yeah, I don't think you're going to notice it during your day to day.
Are these by the way, I see these like racks over here. Are these for like hanging pots? They like
Yeah,
start up there
so
and they go a little low for pot hanging, but
yeah, I mean, I think I do remember the previous occupant hanging garlic or other uh, drying vegetables and such
oh,
out of
okay.
here. You know, a lot of garlic. You know, but you know what I
Are they
say
Italian?
when you're cooking with garlic, you just double or triple
Oh,
what's
so
in the
like were
recipe,
the
right?
the previous tenants like Italian or something? There's like a lot of garlic in Italian cooking.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but obviously, there's none that left here. But yeah, you can unhook those if you want. I mean,
I mean, if we
you're
lift it,
not that tall, right? You're not gonna come a cropper off them, though they are wicked sharp.
yeah. No, but I guess if we raise it up a little, we could hang some brass pots over it. That'd be cool. That'd be an aesthetic against the marble.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you're gonna spend a lot of time here. You know, I don't think you're gonna be able to escape this when you settle in. You know.
Yeah, this does seem like the focal point of the house.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. let's move on. Where does Connell end up in terms of the second room?
Let's see. I think we end up in the guest bedroom, which is really lovely decorated. You know, there's a huge bed inside. I don't know the word for it, but like, you know, those old-timey beds with that sheet ceilings.
Canopy bed.
Yeah. And something feels off though. And Connell looks at the ceiling and says, So where's the door at the ceiling?
The attic, you mean?
Yeah. Why would anyone want to open that? There's no stairs here, which is a plus.
Well, as I understand it, there's a ladder at back which you can quite easily hook up to it. I can bring that up and we can take a look later if you want.
It could be good for storage, Connell. I mean, like, you know, we don't have to go up there and use it for anything else, really. Hopefully we don't have bring a lot of stuff in here. I mean, like, you know, then we'd have to bring it back down again.
Yeah, that's true. Plus, I could just, you know, if it's weird of you, it's where I could put all my tools. I have no problems going up and down.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I mean, still early yet. I mean, like, we might have like another storage place for your tools, so you don't have to go up and down the ladder, unless you're using that for your workout as you're, you know, going over the structure of this
Oh,
place.
actually, yeah, that's a great question. Noah, how does the estate owner feel about us? Like, I like to go for runs in the morning. If I were to run through like the estate woods, that I noticed there was like a path.
Um, yeah, I mean, I like to think that the landlord has a sense of humor. The last time I was looking at I was checking out the plans, the deeds to make sure we knew exactly where the dividing line was for the lease, and the sign said, "Enter at your peril." At the track into the woods, and I mean, I think that just entices the curiosity in me,
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of funny.
right? But Carver, what about what else about this room really piques your interest? I mean, this can up being your bedroom, right?
Yeah, I guess you could. Honestly, the canopy bed's kind of righteous. And he like twirls some of the sheet on his hand. But I think what I really like is the way that there's like, and he reaches out and he like touches the top of like the windows that are in this room. Where okay, again, you've got like these really cool like ornate woodwork like shaping. Like, is that a little face? Like that kind of looks like a little face or something, doesn't it? Like a little like maybe like a lion face or something, or is that a goat? Goat face? There's like a little goat face, I think, etched in like the design, on the wood here.
So yeah, Noah like leans in and uh, I think it's like a sash window, so you're both in this enclosed space, and he's very close to you, looking at this. A goat. I think it's a goat.
Yeah.
See the square eyes, the square pupils? That's
Yeah,
definitely goat.
Yeah, they even got pupil definition on there.
That is magnificent, right? And like maybe as you draw away, it definitely looks like these goat eyes are following you, but that is definitely an illusion, right?
Yeah, no, that's definitely just my eyes, following the tracking of the wood. That's like an old thing that cool old houses have. Yeah, no, that's really cool. I wonder if like this is a goat room and then maybe another room's like a lion room or something.
I mean, goats are classic, right? Independent, fiercely spirited, sure-footed.
I look to Emma as he says that because and actually to both Connell and Emma, because Emma knows history and Connell knows nature and Carver knows none of this.
I mean, well, she's writing this stuff down because basically Noah's giving her some content for the next 2 videos. So she can go over like architectural details and looking up the history of this place and da. So yeah, she's eagerly writing some things down for ideas.
And if you like curry, I would slaughter a goat in an instant for a good curry.
Good to know. Emma pipes up from the back. I mean, let's put it this way: it's like if I could whip up a good curry, does that mean it's like you help us sweeten the deal with a lower price?
You mean to get
We'll
a goat,
cook for discount,
to get a goat, or to get the house?
Either.
I know some people. With access to goats.
We'll cook for food and discounts.
Yeah, okay. We'll see what we do.
So Noah, just one more question. Why is this? Well, obviously I haven't seen every room by now, but I've seen a few. Why is this the only room that has bars on the windows?
Well, aren't you a eagle-eyed man there? So maybe the goats, the goat-strewn wooden shutters on the window. He goes back over to open, and yes, there are bars in the windows. Very sturdy-looking bars. And he runs a hand up it, and there's maybe kind of flakes of rust. Let's call it rust. Yeah, it's a bit of a mystery. I know the last occupant had a relative that they were very protective of. But the old family were a little bit superstitious about things, and I don't like it to judge if I don't have first-hand knowledge. So all I can say is I'm sure that their hearts were in the right place.
And he turns to Emma and Carver and says, well, maybe we can get a discount because if just one room has bars on it, that means the landlord doesn't really care about safety that much, and we might have to install bars ourselves, and therefore we should get a discount.
Yeah, I mean, depending on, especially for home inspection, I'd imagine, right, Carver? I mean, we'd have to make sure that if we do decide to flip it, eventually, then we've got to make sure everything's up to consistency and standard or whatever is required.
Up to
Code, yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, but
Although
that
honestly,
definitely,
removing the bars might be better.
especially
Like
if
a
it's the only room.
fire. A fire safety hazard?
Yeah.
Well, obviously the bars aren't made of wood, so that shouldn't be a hazard.
Well, like if you're in the room and you need to get out, you can't get out through these metal bars.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. But on the other hand, the bars won't burn down. So
I
just
mean, kind of for a moment there, I was sure you're going to say, on the other hand, nothing can get in. But, you know,
and he ominously looks at the door at the ceiling and doesn't say anything.
Like Emma will like, look up from her from her writing and then go, huh, some of that filigree or whatever from downstairs from the kitchen looks like it's on these canopy posts.
Oh, yeah, it is.
The hell?
That's really cool. I guess they wanted to make it a theme throughout the house.
Ooh. I wonder if it's in the other parts of the house too.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Why don't we go to another room?
Yeah. Do you know where the biggest room in this floor is, Noah? I mean, I'm again looking for some office space. I need to figure out where to put my stuff and like make sure that I can work out of it.
well, you know, if there was a place I said you should definitely go, it's not the attic above us, but the main attic above the archway.
Have at it. Let's take a look.
So yeah, this like almost like the same way the kitchen was bigger than it ought to be. I think this one is much bigger than it ought to be.
Right.
What do you think you notice about this when you first get in?
I think the the windows are narrower, like, as you can see above the gateway. Then there's like two slender windows, that are like the focal points across from where we come in. And then the rest of the space is just lit up by the sunlight streaming in through these two particular windows. So there's dark sides of this room. So, like less chance for glare. And I think because of the way it's shaped, I think like there's rafters of a sort. So low enough that she can possibly like hang acoustic blankets. I mean, she's already thinking about like just in case she's got to do like any kind of voiceover or whatever for the videos, then she's already thinking about how she's going to create the DIY tent to be able to do that to absorb sound. But I mean, like sufficient enough room for the desk space that she needs, and then even more like if the other two want to do like a cubicle format, like they have room for their stuff too, for working space. And she's just already like, honing in on the one corner where she's going to put her shit. It's like, I can put my here and then like I can face the monitors, like maybe, yeah, I think away from the lighting. So this way it's like I don't get any glare, and then I can have some focus, like, the natural light possibly streaming in just a little, but not enough, I mean, like, or not too much. And then she's just like talking to herself as she's making notes. It's like, this will work.
And Noah kind of reaches up to the rafters and he runs his hand around it, and like the dust falls off, and you can see this kind of deeper filigree in this wood as well. And when he wipes out off the dust, you see these goat eyes, like these little carvings of these square, tiny rectangles in the wood as well. And you swear they blink at you.
Wow, that's some detail. People who made this place like really like their goat faces, I guess. And she turns away and then just goes back to scribbling some notes into her.
Yeah, a really good variation of crown molding. unique.
I heard you were a fan, Carver. You know,
Yeah,
what do you think?
yeah, I like it. Although I guess one thing that I'm a little perplexed by is I saw that there's that chimney outside, but I don't see a fireplace over here that would line up to where the chimney goes from the roof on the exterior.
Yeah, so we had to get this uh, cleaned a couple of years ago, and there's a flue that goes from the fireplace up to the chimney. Um, I don't know why. It seems like there could have been a more sensible place to put this chimney, but someone told me once that the chimney had been built in a previous version of the house, and the story goes someone was stuck in it, and it was treated like a tomb, and therefore they built the new gatehouse around it.
Scribble, scribble, scribble.
But the chimney cleaner did not find anyone buried in the chimney flue. So we're just going to put that one down to strange stories you hear at Friday after midnight.
What were you doing at your property at Friday after midnight?
I mean, you drink a glass of wine with your tenant from time to time.
Wait, so you said your tenant. Does that mean you own the house up there?
No, 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 no. Of course not. I'm the realtor, not the owner. Um,
Okay. And Carver takes like a step away from Noah. Like that's a little strange.
Emma's looking up and then like kind of making some notes of this, and it's like, I have so much to look up once we're um, done looking through this house. And then she kind of like just kind of elbows Connell and goes, it's like, I have content for the next 10 videos. This is amazing. Holy crap.
So I think since this is so spacious, Connell has one of his bats with him and lets it fly. And at first that small animal seems quite happy, and there's so much space. And then for some reason they just it's just crashes down. Obviously it's not hurt, but something apparently messes with its echolocation in this room. Something we might not perceive, but when he goes there to pick it up and checks if it's all right, and it is, and he pets it, he says, "Well, what happened to you? What? I thought you were fine. Maybe you should take it slower." And then he looks around, but he doesn't really see anything that might have messed with the bat's senses.
so I think maybe Noah looks up there to the kind of top of the loft where the bats ended up, and his eyes narrow, and he makes a strange noise that you might hear, you might not hear, but it's like a hiss in that general direction.
Is there a no pet clause or something here?
Sorry, Carver?
Was there like you kind of made a noise? Is there a no pet clause? Is it okay? I
Oh,
mean,
there's not a no pet clause. Um, I just don't like the idea of harm coming to creatures as lovable as bats.
oh, okay, yeah, no creatures. Yeah, Connell's bats are something.
Well, um, I mean, you seem entranced by this location, everyone. So let's maybe move back to the rest of the house and see what we all think of things.
Yeah, I just have a few concerns. Like, where would, I mean, lots of nice space, but where would all of us sleep?
Um, well, there's the guest bedroom we were just in previously is the back of the house. There's a master bedroom in the front above the front room, and then I guess someone could sleep in the attic.
Yeah, that might be difficult. Although that canopy room was nice.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
like
calling
Emma's already
dibs
like,
on the
no.
master bedroom.
What? Why do you get the master bedroom?
Well, obviously, I've got the most subscribers.
I don't think you
We're
do.
not we're we're not doing this by subscriber count, Connell.
Well, by if you count real people, if you just subtract all the bots and whatever, you've got fewer
You have no
subscribers than I
legitimate proof that they're
have.
bots, Connell.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've all gotten the
The plaques.
the plaques. I mean, like, with like the markers, like the 10,000 and the 50 and all that kind of stuff. I mean, like,
100,000.
right. So we've all gotten that. So I mean, you're not the only one that could possibly, go check out the master bedroom.
Yeah, that's why I said dibs first,
Yeah, I'm taking the guess. I mentioned it before with the canopy. I guess if you're comfortable with the attic ammo, we could consider this place.
Really don't want to be in an attic. I mean,
Is there any other room, Noah, that could be a bedroom?
I mean, there's a room downstairs which I guess is the living room, which would or could double up as a bedroom, but yeah, like I said, a bit of a tight squeeze for a group if everyone needs their own space.
Yeah. I guess we could section the master bedroom into 2 rooms depending on how big it is.
yeah, can we take a look at the master bedroom? At the very least, I don't know. I mean, not that I, you know, necessarily care about it. I mean, worst comes to worst, it's like, I'll sleep in a different shift than anybody else if I have to share, just so I'm not in your way. Or, in case I snore, I don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce our complication right now.
Okay.
So the complication is a display of the realtor's dominion, changing the house in some deep and fundamental way. So, as you, let's call it, bicker over the room choices, you feel everything a little bit colder, and as you move through the house, the doors get a little bit tighter in their door jambs. Um, the door handles, try to constrain your movements. And when you finally kind of force your way into the master bedroom, there is a chill fog inside, and you can hear the screams of this person who was trapped in the second bedroom, coming through the walls, screaming hell and damnation at you for trapping them. Um, so, let's do a reaction maybe before we escalate to our conflict. Uh, Noah is right behind you, smiling to himself and to the camera, because he's a bit smarmy. Let's admit it. Uh, um, How does Emma react to this?
I mean, as we've been going in and it's been getting colder and then just like, weirder. I mean, she's literally been like, pulling her hoodie like, close and then like, putting her hoodie over like the hood over her head and just kind of like, what the fuck? There's fog inside. And then she pulls out her little GoPro and is like, see this? There's fog inside, folks. I mean,
Someone leave a window open?
I feel like, like if we are able to look out a window, it's like it looks like it did when we came in. So no fog, no nothing. It's just like I'd almost say it was steam, except it's inside and we're still cold. The Noah, what is this?
Emma, this is the kind of history that you can only wish for. And if you buy this place, if you lease it for 99 years, you'll experience history the like of which you have never previously imagined.
Uh,
I don't know if I want to imagine it.
yeah.
So maybe, guys, we should all sleep in this room and not in the other ones, and take shifts sleeping.
No.
So one person always stays awake.
That sounds terrible.
That sounds weird. I mean, what are we watching for besides content? And I mean, what does that awake person do besides, all right, I'm filming?
Well, you might want to record what's going on, like all those noises, and maybe someone sleep talks, and that might be come in handy to write it down.
Yeah, and change the content of our channels, sure. Or at least the content of this collab. I mean, like, I guess like anytime that we're awake, I mean, like, we would have a different take on it.
Oh no, I'm definitely not changing the content of my channel. You see, this microclimate in this room is perfect for growing plants, and with all the fog and the
oh,
humidity.
oh, then I'm out. I mean, I'm sorry. I can't. I mean, if you're going to plan on growing plants in here, I mean, like, I cannot risk having like any kind of allergic reaction because like, there's enough pollen out there. I don't need to have it inside. So, you know what? I'll go ahead and I don't know.
Why don't we
Well,
look at another house?
what?
A different property. Why don't we look at property number 2?
Well, we can go see that later if you really don't want to consider this house. But I think from the mechanic's point of view, someone should engage in a conflict with the realtor to solve this complication. Maybe this house is livable with a bit of direct intervention. I don't want to say exorcism.
Uh, Carver, not Carver, Noah, um, would the owner, this room, I guess, has a lot of noise issues. Would the owner be willing to soundproof it before we move in, and additionally maybe add a dehumidifier into the HVAC system for these fog? Because those both seem to be an issue.
Well, for some of us.
I mean, dehumidifiers are one thing, but it's quite another to talk about soundproofing.
Well, it doesn't have to be the whole house. We could just do the singular room.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I wouldn't be hopeful of that as a solution. I mean, in some cases, that would require significant damage to the old structure of the house. But we'll see how it goes.
I mean, even if we brought in like, some of our sound absorption or the foam, I mean, like I worry about the foam like taking on some of this damp and then, you know, mildewing and molding and all this kind of stuff. I mean, like that just sounds not worth it. I mean, I don't want to, but you know what? I'll just go ahead and like, work out my area upstairs over in the main attic and then I'll just figure out a place to sleep. Maybe I'll just bring in a cot and I'll sleep up there with my stuff. It's fine. You know.
Yeah, but just give me a list of all the allergies you have, and I can figure something out. Because obviously you can't be allergic to any plant. There is,
I mean, weed and smut and, pollen. I mean, God knows. I mean, it's been a while since I've had the allergy scratch test, but believe me, it's like, I was like, what, 30 out of 40? Yeah. So,
Okay,
what
so
about making, and that's like the last thing he says, like making a video about exposure therapy.
That's more for like psychological stuff, Connell, than like physical ailments.
yeah, I don't have enough for getting a house and like, that many like, allergy meds at the same time. It's like I got to pick one or the other, you know what I'm saying? So, but if we really like this house, like I said, I'll sleep in the main attic with all my gear.
So, who do we think is going to engage in this conflict with the realtor to try to solve this complication?
It sounds like Connell has doubled down. And I'm just kind of like, you know, Emma's not necessarily going to make waves, so I don't know what Carver's thinking.
Yeah, I guess Connell, not Connell, Carver can, this is a problem giving two C names. Carver can get into the argument, so to speak, or the disagreement.
So this is like I mean, maybe like maybe it's a disagreement, but I mean, it's kind of like a psychic conflict, right? In terms of
Oh, okay.
well, it doesn't necessarily need to be tied into your psychic power, but it's definitely a supernatural test of will.
Okay, yeah, so I
You,
think Carver, as they're walking out, Carver kind of gets over towards Noah and he's like, I really think, and he's like kind of almost looming above him, had like stretched an arm out to the wall, almost like Kabadon kind of anime style. Uh and like Carver doesn't realize it, but he's growing. Like he's getting a little bulkier, a little taller as he's imposing himself into the space of Noah. And he's like, I really, you're a charismatic guy, just you and I. And he like kind of like looks off towards where the cameras are focusing on Emma and Connell. I bet if you really talk to the owner, you could get him to agree to do the soundproofing on just one room to make the deal go through. Come on.
okay, so we go to our playing cards room for the Zener cards. So let me explain a little bit. Uh, so what we would do is we would. Has everyone used playing cards that I know before?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what you're going to do is you can take as many of your cards into your hand, into the section at the bottom of the page that you want, and then put one out face down so that no one else can see it, and that's the card you're choosing. And I would do the same. and then we both guess what the other person's card is. And if one of us guesses correctly and the other person doesn't, then the person who guesses correctly wins. And if not, if we both guess correctly or if we both guess incorrectly, then we win depending on the kind of ranking of the cards. If you have a look in the drawing inspiration tab, they are ranked from bottom. So the circle is the bottom ranked card, the plus is next, the wavy lines are next, the square is next, and the star is best. Okay. So if you have picked a card, so if you've like played face down a card that is a star, it would beat a square, which would beat a wavy line, and so on. Okay. So that's the tiebreaker. Okay. If that makes sense. So
how many cards do we draw, and
so
from which
it's
pile?
just the person, so just the two people who are engaged in the conflict.
Okay, just the two of you
so
then.
just Kay and I right now. So I put my card out.
Yes.
And so have you. So do you want to just guess out loud and then I'll guess in return, or do you want to do it in the text? Or...
I think you've got wavy lines.
Okay. I do not.
Ooh.
I have the plus. I think you have the star.
You are correct.
I am correct. So Noah, smiles at this, very noticeable shape shifting that Carver undertakes. And, he puts a hand on your shoulder, and he is like shorter than you, but somehow you feel like you are insignificant in his presence. And, you see, like in your heightened senses, you see his eyes. And you see that those eyes are empty. And like inside them, there are, I don't know, stars, or there's things in there in this void inside his eyes. And he smiles, says, Carver, this house is perfect for you and for your friends. But I think if you really want to find something a little bit different, we should go to property number 2 right after this break.
He says it right after this break to Carver's face.
Okay, so it's time for us to take a break too. Okay, we're back after those important messages. And I'm going to leave our buyers to talk amongst themselves for a while, see what they like about the house, and maybe you at home will see some interesting insights that I'm not privy to. So I'll be back in a few minutes, but let's leave our buyers to their cahoots.
Carver looks a little shaken after stepping back from Noah. He keeps putting his own hand where the host's hand had like fallen upon him in that moment. Just a little more demure, a little quieter than he had been before.
So the two of you, you've got some chemistry. Maybe we can use that. Keep that in mind. Yeah, Noah and you. The audience will eat it up.
When did you become such a... I can't even think of the word now.
Mentor. It's called mentor.
No,
I
no,
don't-
no. I'm thinking, I mean, like it's just
You know, it's just flirting. Doesn't have to be serious, but doesn't harm.
that
So the kitchen was
seems
really nice and the canopy bed was great.
mm, well, I wasn't obviously I like, I was like shut out of the decision to sleep in said canopy bed, but I mean, kitchen was great. I will say, kitchen was great. And
Mm.
there's enough room in that attic space for all of us to have workspaces. So can totally deal with that. That master bedroom though. No. I mean, if you two want it, fine. I'm not for it. I mean, like I'm willing to stay in the attic then if or me and I'm sorry, Connell. I keep forgetting your bat's name. I'm like, me and him can like hang out in the main attic.
I mean, again, it's not like it's forever. It's just for, I could probably, fix it up in a year. So it really is only for a year. The bones are good here. So I don't have to do any major reconstruction.
Yeah.
But
I
why don't
mean,
we,
the kitchen was really something.
well, if only one of us was like a cooking or a baking vlog, Rosanna Panzino or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like I wasn't planning on changing my content, but I mean, like again, if we're gonna be staying here for like a year or so, I mean, like it would behoove us to save money by cooking, like in the place. You know what I mean? So that's
Oh,
my
yeah,
thought.
that's true. Yeah, instead of getting a meal delivery service, like cooking is cheaper.
So what what did Noah mention about landlord and going on the property?
Well,
What did
we can go for runs. The landlord's got a sense of humor. So, maybe we can meet him or her, or them, not to gender people. Uh, but yeah, it seems like it's an amiable relationship. Although, again, not necessarily like my ideal.
So you think we should look at one of the other houses then?
Yeah, I like property too.
well, it never hurts to look at another property. Especially something's off with the attic.
I mean, you think there's something off with the attic? I mean, like obviously there's something seriously wrong with that master bedroom. My
It just
goodness.
needs some like dehumidifying and stuff.
Well, that's your opinion. I think it's just fine the way how humid it is.
Yeah, and Noah did say he thought this was a good fit for us, and we've told him what we want, so you know some trust there. But yeah, why don't we go see property too?
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Any confessionals from anyone that we see on screen? In between property number one and property number two.
Is that something that we can only do once per game, or is it something we can do once per house?
It is once per house, yeah. So
Oh, okay.
you're not shooting your bolt by doing it now. So
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think it's not an actual confessional, but we see there's a moment where Carver's in the house and he's standing in that canopied bedroom by that window, and his fingers are just like his eyes look, something looks wrong, like the gaze isn't right, as his finger just traces along the wooden goat face. Just like some eerie silence. We watch and like at like the edges of his forehead, something seems to be wrong. Is it the lighting? What's going on there? But then nope, that's just a regular forehead. Nope, nothing growing out of there like horns. Absolutely not.
do you think maybe it, obviously it's a trick of the light, but when we see Carver blink, we get a fleeting impression that his pupils have turned rectangular for one
Oh
of those
man.
blinks.
No, couldn't be that. Absolutely not. That's just the light. That's just the bad lighting. He's gonna really need to fix that up in here.
Awesome.
I think, hmm, I think she heads back down. I think Emma heads back down to the kitchen and then starts to look, at the spaces and then kind of runs her hand along the marble of that big table and then just kind of starts to smile to herself and then just kind of looking around, like seeing the possibilities of what she can make and then like, make it work, especially like again to help out and be able to make shared meals. But with the way the light is shifting down as she's kind of at this marble table, the way the light is hitting her, it makes it look like she's wearing like flowing robes in this waning sunlight, even though she's got her usual clothes on and her hair is flowing like behind her at this table. And she just smiles a little to herself and then moves away.
Mm. And I think we got a confessional from Carl, and he faces the camera and says, "Well, I didn't want to play the age cards there, but mentioning the subscribers might have gone too far because it's a touchy subject, and it's really, since we're collaborating, we shouldn't compare who has how many thousands and how many bots there are, because there's no way of telling really. So yeah, I guess I have to make up with them because I might have hurt some feelings."
Okay, so yeah, time to choose our second property. Um, so Noah greets you as you come out of the house, and well, where's next? Suburbia or the city? Where do you think is our must-have location after this?
Uh, I'd like the Art Nouveau with the many windows, the property number 2. Personally, what do you guys think?
Mm, yeah, me too.
I mean, if we're gonna go completely 180, it's like, the city center one seems to be a good bet because, at least it won't be as hard to get around because at least we'll have access to public transport. So, sure, let's try that one.
Okay, so you know we cut to the group standing outside this townhouse. Um, and yeah, I mean, Noah looks like impressed standing outside this. He like backs out onto the street and ignores the traffic that just about misses murdering him as he takes it all in. And then he turns to the camera. This really impressive townhouse begs out for a host who knows how to hold the best events. These magnificent windows, this edifice is to die for. And this is going to wow the most cynical of viewers, even Connell. Uh, Price is an issue here. There are no holds barred on the price in the city, especially for such a well um, known property. But the location's great. Um, so yeah, why don't you talk amongst yourselves, give us your first impressions, and then let's go inside.
I love all the windows.
Yeah,
And the
Emma's
stained
just kind of
glass.
contemplating and like looking up at it and just it's gonna be tough for editing purposes, like all that color grading that I have to do. Because
We
again,
could.
consistency of light and all this kind of stuff. I mean, you've been doing doing well so far, but I mean that's because I've been able to adjust without you having all of the extra lights and all of the extra, reflectors and everything like this. Um, this might cause a little bit of trouble. I mean, it'll take me longer to edit. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, but we can afford more hours for you. I've got the budget, but like, look at the staining in the glass. Like that could create some really cool like color effects. Like bisexual lighting is really in right now.
Did you just say bisexual effects?
Yeah, no, no, bisexual lighting. It's this whole like red and blue backlighting thing right now. It's
I
called bisexual lighting. It's like a whole thing right now.
I don't think it means what you think it means, but okay, that's fine. Yeah, okay, we'll give it a shot. I mean, if
What
you think,
about pansexual lighting? Could that be possible as well? Just feel slightly more comfortable with that.
Yeah, no, I mean we could ask. I mean, there are more than two colors there, so maybe that makes it pansexual. Because like there's blue right there, and there's like some oranges and pinks, and that's definitely like a green. So that's at least three, and that's like, bi is two. So maybe it could be detailed as pansexual lighting.
oh, the color grading is going to be all over the place. I mean, it's fine because I believe in pansexuality for sure. However, I mean, like in terms of just the editing, I mean, it might be a little bit difficult. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
hear you. But that exterior, you got all the windows, and then I could do some really nice slice off old school dark brick, or even like a white brick, and go along the stone that's there because it's a little haggard. But if I deep clean that and then do the exterior layer addition on top, that shit would pop. We could do like a
Wait,
really
wait,
nice dark stain on that door.
we're part of like it looks like row townhome row. I mean, they may have some problems with us messing around with the exterior.
Oh, is there an HOA here, Noah?
I mean, I would never sign a contract with a HOA on it. Those things are absolutely demonic. The
Yeah, so then
devil's
they
work.
can't, yeah, then they can't do anything for us.
I'm just saying.
Sorry, I would never sign a contract, but whether you sign a contract here, I mean,
Oh, so is there one here?
yeah, but I'm sure it's fine. You know,
I
I mean, in
don't want to
principle,
get
I'm opposed to them, but the practicalities are there's no lawn, there's no gardens, you don't need to worry about it.
Hmm.
Also, we don't have to worry about snow shoveling. That's on the HOA.
Well, I think that would be called being a good neighbor, and what would Jesus do? That's what I ask myself every morning.
Well, the HOA should like cover maintenance of like snow. That's part of the
no,
contract usually.
no. I mean, like I've lived in an apartment, even HO, whatever, that a condo that said it's like we had to take care of our own snow shoveling, just because, as Noah said, like being a good neighbor. So we would have to handle that. I mean, worst
Oh,
comes to worst, I'm sure that we can get a snowblower or whatever. It's not a big deal.
I mean, I don't mind shoveling snow. Like that's not a big deal.
But
Interior?
yeah, yeah, let's go check it out. I mean, like, we won't know, and we'll figure out whether we can mess around with the outside. I
Are there
personally,
at least three bedrooms on this one, Noah?
I believe so. I don't think there'll be any space issues here.
wait, does this place have an extra room
I think
for?
there's a spare bedroom, like an actual guest bedroom, if the three of you do not want to sleep together. I mean,
Oh no,
have the same bedrooms. I mean,
like what I'm concerned about is having enough working space. That's my biggest concern. So, all right, well, let's go check it out.
okay. So let's start with Connell this time. What room do we find you in first?
Let's see. I think we're entering a very spacious bathroom, and looks really nice. There are even bidets. Fancy. And he goes over there and tries it out.
I mean, I trust you mean just pushes the button and not
Yeah.
actually tries it out. Right?
Obviously.
Oh man, that's funny. But this bath, the bath, the yeah, it's by an immense window, and it's kind of got like enough of a scoop to it, like it's like rather like looking at half an egg basically, where it can fit like it can fit at least 4 people in it in the bath. Why would they need this much room for bathing? I mean, and then she checks and she doesn't see a shower. And it's like, ooh, that's gonna make
That's
things.
like you could like swim in that though. It's kind
Yeah,
of nice.
I know, but I mean, damn, that water bill must be insane. Just saying.
Or the milk
Yeah.
bill, if you're, into your Cleopatra stories, right?
I mean, like, like a good bath bomb does wonders. I mean, like I wouldn't need to fill this thing with milk.
Times have moved on, huh?
Oh yeah, no, I mean,
A milk bath sounds kind of fun though. I could try that. Like that could be like a fun challenge video.
oh,
Yeah.
oh man, oh yeah. You know what? Okay, all right. Or
Or
how about this? I'm like the milk and the bath bombs
milk
together.
and bath bombs. But you know what's been really big lately? I saw Joey Graceffa do it. Orbeez. How many
Orbeez.
Orbeez can your tub fit?
The hell are Orbeez?
They're like those little balls, like when you hit them with water and they soak up and they're like little gel balls.
Oh wow. Oh. Again, water bill. Or just filling them with Orbeez, not with the water.
Yeah, I mean you put a little water to activate the Orbeez, but like
Oh, okay.
But can you do it also with milk? The
we could
Orbeez
try that. We could do the Orbeez and milk. That could be some good content.
Yeah.
Either way, that liquid bill is going to be expensive.
Unless they have, unless like you mentioned, like we have the other buildings, maybe there's a flat rate negotiated condo fee for it.
Oh,
Milk or water?
Water.
Okay.
we could maybe talk to the guy owning the previous house, because he's got some goats fetish thing going on, and maybe we can get goat milk.
I think that was just like structural patterns. I don't know if like he owns goats.
Yeah, but no, he mentioned he can get us goats.
No, I mentioned I could get you goats.
Oh, so you like a hookup for goat milk?
I would not have said that, but I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. I kind of really like, I thought like statues were kind of out of style, but like this like head like in this little ensconce in the wall, like it's got them Greco-Roman vibes. Like that's kind of cool. And it's interesting, there's like a little pattern, like he like traces his hand against like where the eyelid like meets at the corner down like to the side of the nostril. That they stained this part red is kind of cool, so it like looks different against the pale white of like the stone with like little red staining there. And almost almost like it's kind of like it follows a tear track, but it's red. That's kind of silly, although it's a little red and brown. We could
I mean,
probably touch it up with some fresh red paint.
yeah, it might. I mean, it might be the lighting and the sandstone, but it does bring to mind this this pink stone that was quite popular way back when. There might be something in there, or maybe it is a stain. It's hard to know.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Uh, but yeah, kind of classic, right? Statues and busts. Um, I mean, I'm more of a death mask kind of person when it comes to interior decoration, but statue-esque busts I can appreciate.
Yeah, I don't. I usually save interior designing for someone else. I just do the woodworking, so I'm afraid I don't know as much as maybe you do, Noah.
Well, if I need someone to whatever lift lumber, I will give you a call.
Yeah, no, I'm great at lifting wood.
So I hear.
Confessional.
Yeah.
So that very moment, I knew there was something going on between Noah and Carver. All these euphemisms. At first, I didn't really catch it, but they had a moment in the first house, and now all this sweet talk about wood.
Maybe the production assistant in the confessional goes, give us a little bit more about that. Come on, we need the juicy details.
Well, maybe Carver really took it too hard what I recommended to him. Flirting with Noah. And I guess I'll keep my eyes peeled for other signs there might be.
Yeah. Trying to think of another feature in this giant bathroom. Um, I think, yeah, I think the bath by the window, maybe it's in this kind of slight depression, like a like an amphitheater almost, like you step down into the bath, and that that like large window that I was sitting in, is like you look out, and I think it seems like uh, maybe it's just the angle from down here. It seems like you're in a completely different place, right? You maybe don't see the houses across the room, across the street. Um, you really have no impression of being in the city at all. And I guess that is just accentuated the when you're in the bath. Like if you sit down in the bath or in the hollow that that the bath is in, that view uh, is really something else.
Wow. Yeah, and yeah, no, this could be like actually like really relaxing. Like you're in your own little space.
So I think, yeah, I mean, I think like Noah even like shows you. I think he like climbs into the bath and lies down and just like says, "Wow, you got to take a look at this. This is, I think, the best thing about this house, right? When you're down here, you're not in the city at all."
Kind of a nice reprieve.
What a
Yeah.
unique feature of the house. Wow.
Connell, you are the one I think who was most worried about being in the city. Do you want to try lying in the tub?
Yeah, there's room for 4 in here, you know.
I think I'm fine
I
for
guess I'll
now.
try it if you won't. And Carver toes off his shoes real quick and steps into the tub.
Yeah, I think Emma will join you, but she's not what is it? Like she's like the opposite part, so if your head is over here, then her head will be over here, and then
Yeah.
you're looking out. So really interesting detail. But I mean, limited time in the bath. I there's so much work to be done. It's like I don't think I'll be spending that much time in here. Although, I mean, if you're changing your like content a little bit, it's like, you may want to create the little like time lapse interludes maybe, as part of your channel,
Yeah.
Carver.
Although, I don't know. Sometimes, doing all that construction really leaves you sore, so a nice huge bath is
Oh, that's a great
nice.
idea. Yeah.
And you could totally stream that too. You know, I'm sure you have fans out there.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Carver gets a little red at the idea of streaming himself in a bathtub.
You know what? I mean, like, some people have actually streamed themselves sleeping. I mean, that this is not going to be a big deal. In fact, Noah's probably right. You probably get even more, subscribers that way.
It's a thought.
You don't have to.
What's after platinum in that YouTube subscriber plaque, right?
That is true. Yeah, into the next level, I guess.
Again, you just like don't think about it now. I mean, like, you're concentrating on like what you're working on, and then like, if eventually you want to post that kind of varied content, then you can. But just a thought. And it's so much easier to do that, I think, than being worried about like, trying to get the cameras in place and the lighting fixed for like all the construction work. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So as lovely as it would be to just sit in the bath all day, we got
Right.
we got the rest of the house to wander through.
Can we see like can we see the bedrooms? I mean, like, are they all similar? I mean, like, are they different?
I mean, I think they are. There's a similar style, but they are all unique. You know. So yeah, you probably want to go to the master bedroom then, or I mean, it's not really the master bedroom, but it's probably the one on the top floor.
Oh, interesting. Huh. Okay. Sure. How many bedrooms are on each floor?
2 on each. Sorry, 2 on the second floor, 2 on the third floor.
Okay. Okay. Before we go and check out the master bedroom, if they're all fairly similar, guys, can we just agree that the biggest room should be the workspace, where we
That
can all
makes
have
sense.
have all our stuff and then just work out of that room. This way we're not worried about, divvying out like the space. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. I mean, we should make sure it gets, everyone gets the same space and
Yeah.
everyone gets a nice bedroom.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So Mads, what's the first thing Emma notices? What's the feature in this master bedroom?
Out of character question first. You know what? No. So the first thing that we notice when we go to the master bedroom is it's got double doors. And when we open the double doors, we see this humongous bed. Again, it's one of those massive bed, like even bigger than a California king. I mean, like we're talking fits like again 4 or 5 people. It just is like the
Alaskan king.
something, whatever. And then just it's like all you see is bed when you start. I mean, it is just a big room, but I mean, like you see bed. And it just looks very soft and inviting with like a fluffy duvet on it and those big ass pillows that just kind of like, look like they invite you to fall into them.
Almost want you to make this not the working space, right?
Right.
I mean, try it out.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, she does like something fun. I mean, Connell, can you do me a favor? Here, take my GoPro. Just
Mm,
like
Sure.
follow my direction. It's kind of like when we did that thing about like doing the water slide in the backyard. Okay, can
yeah.
just like follow me with the GoPro. Okay, so she's taking a get ready start, and then she's taking a running leap, and then she just like spread eagles, and then like flips herself right on the bed like face first, and then she just flips herself around and goes, oh my god, you guys, you have to try this out. Oh my god, don't dive bomb me, but no, just come over here. I mean, like, this bed is amazing. And then she kind of pokes her head up and goes, did you get that, Connell?
Sure did.
Absolute reaction.
Mm.
Carver once more slips off his shoes and is gonna go over to the bed
I
and
mean, yeah, she skipped
crawl
out of her
onto
shoes as soon as she took the running start. So yeah. Yeah,
it. He
she's like,
slips in. Wow, it really can hold a lot of people.
yeah.
It's really soft.
I mean, she's kind of kidding around, and she's kind of like, where are you, Carver? I can't reach you. I mean, and can't, because it's such a big ass bed. I mean, it didn't look that big. Like, it looked big, but we didn't think it was that big that she couldn't touch you where but kind of gives that dolly zoom of like, Connell, you have to try this out. I mean, I'll roll over closer to Carver if you just want to like not take a running leap, but I mean, like, you just want to kind of sit at the edge of the bed. I mean, this is amazing.
I think Connell can't actually hear you because he didn't go in the bed, so he doesn't react.
Mm.
So, do you mean like there's some kind of like not a privacy screen or anything like that, but like just everything on the bed is so soft it just absorbs all the sound. And like
Yeah,
when
Oh
you step a
man,
few meters away over by the doors, you just can't hear anything going
yeah.
on there.
that's amazing. And I'm just getting all sorts of thoughts, and it's hilarious. Oh my god. Woo!
There are several applications.
Oh yes. Woo!
Uh, Noah, get over here. I want to see if a third will fit. And this time he is intentionally taking Connell's advice to attempt to flirt.
So uh, Noah has no problem hearing this, or maybe he just knows exactly what you're thinking.
Mm.
Um, so he wanders over, and he sits on the bed, but he is like not getting on the bed fully. It's like the 50s film code. He is leaving one foot on the floor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
And
let me guess, you're gonna keep this as a communal bedroom and turn the other bedrooms into workspaces.
Maybe
Uh,
that's what we got to do, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, what do you think,
kinda.
Carver?
I don't know about a communal bed space. Maybe we can move the bed somewhere else because it's a nice
You're
bed. Or
gonna move
maybe
this bed?
I can move it.
You're She just kind of props herself up on her arm and says, "You're gonna move this bed, really?"
Yeah, I could do it. But otherwise, we could leave it as like a day bed. Like we can work, and whenever one of us needs a nap, we can take a nap and put the workstation somewhere else in the room.
Oof. I don't know. I mean, if I'm gonna actually look at my table, like all the way over there, I mean, like she gestures outside of the bed, and then look at this bed, I'm gonna keep coming back to this bed because this is amazing. Oh my God. This is so soft. I mean, like, and she's just kind of floofing her hands like across the
It
covers
is.
and then the pillow. Just aren't you so comfortable on here? I mean, this is
I mean, yeah, it is comfortable, but I don't know if the three of us sharing a bedroom is the greatest idea.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess. Just ooh. Mm, yeah. You could just literally see her eyes fluttering closed, like and half lidded as she's just kind of enjoying the bed as a bed, you know? So
It's a Bermuda Triangle of a bed. Like
yeah,
it can
she's
never leave.
reluctantly scooching herself off and like, I guess we should look at the other parts of the house.
Or maybe Hotel
Yes.
California is the right metaphor here. Okay, so you finally get out of the bed.
Mhm.
Okay, what feature do you want to add to this room that Carver notices?
Yeah, and I think as he sits up in the bedroom, his like leg kind of knocks against the edge of it, and he sees there's something attached, and he reaches down and finds leather straps. And he's just like, that's strange. Is this for helping move it? Because it's so large. As he like pulls and like this longer strap unfurls from under, slightly tucked underneath the mattress.
Emma will look on the other side and then see that there's also a strap waiting to be unfurled.
Um,
No,
I
did they
mean,
give you information about this detailing?
and I think Noah kind of smirks at the camera and says, "Oh, you're so young, Carver."
Uh, yeah, I'm a young success story. I mean, I'm 25.
I'm sure those straps are to move it in. You know, uh, the entire bay window there had to be put in after the bed was lifted up because it just couldn't be brought through the house normally. So yeah, I'm sure those straps are exactly for the hoisting.
Does Emma get to see the little smirk on Noah's face?
Absolutely, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And she just smiles whether he notices or not, and she just kind of smiles back and just mm, mm, mm-hmm. That's what she does.
Seems like it's been cast into the wood. Really cool.
Yeah,
Smart thinking.
let's go into yeah.
Let's try another room. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kay, where do you think uh, Carver wants to see?
Yeah, so I think Carver's like, uh, this one has a basement, right? Let's go see what the basement's like.
Yeah, so I think we can see right that from the picture, right, that there's like this half basement, like a
Yep.
like a window that we can see from the street level. So kind of a classic city basement. Um, what what type of room is this?
Yeah. So I think walk in and it's very large and it's finished, it's got a nice stained wood floor and there's an interesting kind of dark wood paneling on the walls. But what's even more interesting is that there are a handful of life-sized Murano glass sculptures set in the lovers sculpture setting, which are usually these two clear glass individuals that have no features but are hugging one another. And there's like five different ones of them, but the interesting thing is they're all life size.
Spectacular, right?
Wow, do those statues stay?
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, they are really cool. Definitely like different.
I think we don't necessarily turn on the light right away. Because I mean, like, we're seeing these glass sculptures. But then, like, when Emma happens to come down and then, like, look for the light switch, like, you normally would, instead of turning on the light down here, it shifts maybe hmm, 2 or 3 panels aside. And behind the panels, you see these inset paintings. And each of the paintings is rather first off looks like kind of in keeping with the Art Deco. But when upon closer look, these paintings are quite erotic. And Emma goes over, of course, to the panels that have slid open and just kind of like looks at each one by one and just has these feelings looking at them. I mean, first she's like, oh, look at this. I mean, like, it's so interesting. I mean, like, you see like some pomegranates here and it's like almost like a still life. And then she stops and then like kind of notices a little bit more detail about it and huh. And she does that thing that she did over by the bed. Mhm.
Anything catch your eye, Emma?
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm getting an eyeful right now. Boy. Oh yeah.
Any art critics amongst you, or is this beyond your comfort zone?
Oh no, I mean, I'm not critical of these at all. I mean, just finding it interesting that they're not in some museum somewhere, you know, giving other people impressions. And she kind of sidles up to Noah and goes, you know, usually when I look up place history, it's usually about the region. It's usually about maybe the property itself or something. But this is the first time that I can honestly say that I might have to try and trace the purveyors of such interesting art. You don't happen to know their originator, do you?
Well, I'm sure I could educate you. I mean, in
Ah,
my experience, it's not the places, it's the people. The
are you
people
saying
who
the previous
live, the
owner?
people who create, the people who make these houses what they are.
Would you say that the owners, the previous owners of this place, were the ones who made this art?
Well, if not made, then commissioned with a very specific brief.
Hmm.
I mean, I think everything in this house is carefully tailored to give a certain experience, to elicit a certain response. Let's put it like that.
To elicit a certain response for possible illicit affairs, perhaps?
Well, what do we care about the laws of mankind? Do what thou wilt, right?
Interesting. Hmm. How do you feel about these paintings, Noah?
I'm waiting for you to invite me over for a party once you pick this house.
Ah, possibility. Possibility.
Possible.
Mhm. And she turns back to look at the paintings, contemplating them with her, her arms crossed and like as neutral of a countenance as she possibly can muster while she's wandering around looking at the paintings.
Any feature you'd like to add, Michael, for Connell?
So I picture this actually some couches or chairs. It's all very comfy, and he sits down for a moment and he notices like one of the walls looks different than the others. And since it's not well lit, you don't see it at first, but then he approaches and then it turns out that the whole wall is like a black mirror. And only if you go really, really close, then there's like a bit of a reflection. And could be like a two-way mirror kind of situation that um you know, there might be someone behind watching. So he gets suspicious and taps it, and it definitely sounds like there's another room behind it.
Uh, and I think you're looking uh, in this dark mirror, and you see Noah behind you, and you can see the reflection that like shows you what the void in his eyes, and he is like looking at you. Look at him in the mirror, and he knows that there's something behind there, and that's not all on the level, and he is just enjoying the kind of the penny dropping on your face for both
Mm.
things. Um, and yeah, I think I'm gonna introduce a complication. So, uh, you know, Noah, smiles and walks away, and I'm just gonna take a call outside, but you talk amongst yourselves how things are gonna go, and you like maybe you're like sharing your uneasy look at this, but as you're kind of talking or just coming to grips with that, you get a sense that the house is moving And you look out the window, and like there is someone holding the house and looking inside at you, like a giant face. Um, and like there's no skyline on the that you can't see across the street. You're just like being picked up in this house, and the person looks in and like taps the window as if like prompting you into action. Um, so yeah, you're in some kind of strange dollhouse with a person who can uh, look at what you're up to. Not just in the basement through the mirror, but the whole thing is like a doll's house for someone else's edification.
Is there a gas leak? Is anyone else seeing that?
This is, I mean, maybe it's an earthquake, and yeah, we're sniffing like a gas leak, and I mean, what the hell?
Oh,
I mean, she's automatically going to try and head upstairs, and going to try and call out to Noah, and then say, it's like, what the hell is this?
So yeah, I mean, like you walk upstairs and open the front door, and like you are like a mile above the earth, right? You you know you get this sense of vertigo. Um,
Yeah, my hair is like, flying like over my face, like in the breeze or wind, whatever the hell we
yeah,
are, like the altitude we are. And then I'm just like, and then shut the door.
yeah.
We are not where we thought we were.
Um,
And she puts her back against the door.
what are you talking about?
Don't go out there. No, don't. I mean, we didn't have anything to eat since we left. So yeah, this isn't like, like, I know I didn't have any shrooms or anything like that, or what have you. So then they wouldn't take that long to kick in. Just saying. Okay, don't look out there. No.
Uh,
Um,
Connell?
And he hasn't spoken for a while now, and he was standing in front of that basement window, looking outside, and maybe he tapped on it as well, just to see how that giant thing, person, whatever, is reacting. And then he turns around to you guys and says, "They're messing with us.
yeah,
Like
evidently.
there's like this is not a regular house hunting show. It's more
Yeah, is
like
there any
hidden cameras or something."
Oh, do you think they drugged us? Like maybe they're pumping something, some kind of, what is it, psychedelic or something like that in the air, maybe?
is there any of the cameramen down here with us, Donna?
um, I mean, I think there must be, right?
Yeah, there has
Because
to be
how could they
one.
not get this reaction on film,
Yeah.
right?
And so
Um,
Carver goes up to one and it's like, what's going on? Where's Noah?
oh, he'll be back in a minute. He just went out to take a phone call,
Do you
and
see what's going on outside the window?
they seem yeah they seem oblivious to the kind of, or at least oblivious or
Unbothered.
completely uncaring or disinterested in what's going on. Um, And yeah, let me go out. Sorry, Emma, excuse me. And like the production assistant is going to open the door to go out and call back in Noah.
Do they go out? I mean,
So they
or
open the door and Noah's there, and he's just hanging up the phone. Hey, what's you all right?
no, no,
No, no.
no, no. No, what kind of show is this?
Uh, what do you mean? What kind of show is this?
I mean, are we part of a social experiment where like, you're pumping in like some sort of weird gas or something that you're testing out on unsuspecting buyers, and now we're just like kind of like seeing hallucinations and shit? I mean,
No.
this is
And he sniffs inside the house. I don't smell anything.
They caught it on camera. We just saw like a person outside poking like a giant.
Well, that is spectacular. Mushrooms?
no,
I don't do
no,
drugs.
no, no.
Well, just some weed, but that usually doesn't lead to that kind of
Well, hey,
things.
This house is designed to elicit a certain response, and maybe you shouldn't spend much time in the basement. Maybe you should just stay on the bed upstairs.
I mean, I'd love to, except that's not conducive to getting any work done at this point. What is going on, Noah?
What is going on? Are you gonna browbeat this demon into telling you the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I'm gonna just like go for it, because I'm like,
Okay.
I don't understand what's going. I mean, mind you, like Mads the player loves all this surreality crap, because this is wonderful. This is my wheelhouse. But Emma the character's like, what the fuck, Noah?
Yeah. So let's play the Are We Really Psychic
Let's
game
go
again.
to the playing cards room. I
Let's
feel
go
like
to
we're
the
just
playing
going to
cards
that,
room.
like, we're doing that cut in the game show.
It's a game show shtick, right?
Yes, love it. Okay, so what do? I just pull out
So
one card.
you can grab all 5 cards and put them into your hand area.
Okay.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to pick one, put it out face down so I can't see it, and then I'll do the same, and then we're going to guess. Now, I've already played a plus, so I can't play that again.
Okay.
So I need to.
All right.
We need to do this double think, right?
I'm like, wait, what? Okay, I got you. Sure. So if I bring it out of my folder, like my hand,
yeah,
it'll
be
automatically
face
turn
down.
over. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
If you are paranoid, you can click it when it's in your hand, and it'll turn face down anyway, and then you can push it out to the table.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So
I think you have the star.
I also think you have the star.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No,
So what does that mean if neither one of us get it?
So in that case, we go by the ranking. So
Oh, yes, I
star
didn't
beats square, beats wavy lines, beats plus, beats circle.
So you win again.
So I win again.
Fuck.
Though not by guessing, just by
Yeah.
Standard game theory.
Got it.
Okay, so yeah, like Noah draws you aside. Maybe like walking out of the basement with you. Let me tell you what's really going on. If you
Please
want to
do.
live in this house, you're doing so for the pleasure or the edification of other people. Your life is in a glass bowl. You're displaying things to strangers that any normal person couldn't possibly want to. But that's normal, right? Well, for the other two, they're used to showing and telling all you're a behind the scenes kind of person.
Yeah, usually.
But you want to make it big, you gotta live in a glass bowl.
I don't I don't know if I could do that. It's
But it's what you want.
I
And I'm all about giving people what they want.
mean, it was very comfortable upstairs. And that basement was real interesting, I will say. There's some content that I can definitely look up and research and she kind of like, smiles a little bit and it's like stops herself and then like turns to you and says, "Would you really come back if I invited you?"
Of course. I visit all of my clients. I like to check in, see how they're getting on with the wonderful properties I set them up with. It's always so interesting to see how they've reacted in 6 months' time or whenever they cannot accommodate the reality of their situation anymore.
Only takes 6 months.
Some people are better equipped than others.
Well, I mean, maybe I could come out more, get my face on the screen, I suppose. Get people familiar with who I am, I guess. I mean, the other two are used to showing their faces. It's like shouldn't be a big deal for them, right? I
Yeah.
mean, huh.
And you know what? Sometimes the woman behind the curtain is magnificent, not like an ordinary guy who's nothing special.
It's all about what makes you unique, right?
Yeah. What's your unique selling point?
Hmm. Hmm. I have to think about that for sure.
Yeah. So why don't I leave you to it? Have another little talk. Let the viewers know what you think of the property, and then we'll choose the house that you want to pick. Um, let's cut the commercial break, and we'll be right back. So we're back, and let's see what our buyers thought of property number 2.
Is this where we do the confessionals, or we're together as a group?
So it can be both. I know we got a confessional from Connell, right, already in this house. So if you want to do that, the confessional first, and then do the group reaction, or afterwards, that's completely up to you. And Kay as well. We get a confessional from Carver as well.
Yeah, I think Emma has headed back down to the basement to kind of like be next to one of the paintings, like when she's doing the confessional. And in fact, I'm gonna say like one of the comfortable couches is like underneath one of the inset paintings, and then she's trying to sit as demurely as she possibly can on this couch, but It's like it's a fight. And she's confessing to the camera. It's like, I think I can make this work. I mean, can tweak my content a little bit and then actually come out from behind the scenes and put my face out there. I mean, people are watching anyway. I mean, why not? Like the other two are doing it, so I mean, they're succeeding. I mean, maybe by showing my face and putting it out there, I mean, it can only be more known and more interesting for folks. And if there's a little bit more content in my research that I can add to this, and then she's kind of like, slowly contemplating and then looking up at the painting, like, next to her, and then slowly bringing her face back to the camera. And yeah, I mean, if any of the contents of this place, like, really bear fruit, then why not? So, I mean, it'll be interesting, like, when we do the 6-month check-in, as Noah says. I'm sure he'll be by, you know, earlier than that a few times. So, and that's her confessional.
Do we get one from Carver, or maybe after the
Yeah.
group discussion?
Let's do the group discussion first, and then maybe we'll do the Carver one.
Cool.
Well, there's plenty of bedrooms, so that's always nice.
I mean, I know you don't like the idea of like the communal sleeping, but I mean, I really like that big bed.
We can leave the bed. We can just use it for like naps while we're working or something.
Okay, that's fine. Where do we put our stuff though? I mean, like, I do need a lot of room to work.
We could push the bed from the center to the corner against one wall, so it'll give the other wall in the middle more free space.
I can try that. Sure. Okay.
You
I
could
mean,
store stuff under the bed, seems spacious.
yeah, very spacious. Goodness. So what do you think? I mean, give it a shot, give it a shot for a year at least, and then
I mean, I hate to say it because there was the bedroom issue, but there was something really attractive about the first space, and then also, that, like I said, I like to go out for runs in the morning. That, the greenery there was wonderful. There really isn't much greenery here for you, Connell, compared to the first place.
Connell, what do you think?
I just think it's too fancy. And I'm not sure we'll be able to, connect to our usual audiences with that. I don't see anything to fix here. I don't see any nature. Yeah.
I mean, I could do a cool wood paneling tutorial about how the mechanisms work. We could do the Orby stuff. We could do. I could repaint. He like turns around. I could repaint some of the stuff in here, but and that exterior bricking I could do.
We got to make sure that we could do that first. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess that
we
would be a
have to.
deal breaker for you if we can't, but
Yeah, I don't know if this is like a historical building, possibly. Like that's
Hmm.
something to ask about.
Yeah. Well, I really like this house. I mean, it's be my choice, really. That master bedroom and the other one just creeped me the hell out. I can't. I just can't. I yeah, I worry about allergies. My allergies are gonna kill me for the year that we're there. That's the only thing.
Yeah. Maybe we can get Noah to weigh in. I mean, obviously he knows the two property and he knows our express needs. We can tell him we're having a hard time choosing. Maybe he can help lead us one way or the other.
Willing to do that, Connell?
Well, I'm willing to hear him out.
Yeah,
Sure.
never
All
hurts
right.
to get an opinion.
Yeah.
Noah, would you mind coming and chatting with us for a bit?
Sure. Any follow-on questions?
Yeah. Honestly, you've shown us two great places.
Well, I think so.
If only we could make them one. Take things from each. Connell, do you want to give your concerns about property 2 to Noah?
Is there any way to make room for, let's say, plants, any indoor gardening?
Well, I mean, I'm surprised you just didn't go up to the roof garden.
Oh, there's a roof garden.
Yeah, some nice trellises up there would work perfectly. I think, you know, plenty of room for woodwork and plants up there.
I see. Okay, that's good to know. We didn't know that. All right.
What's the catch, though?
What the catch is, how much it's going to cost you. Um, gotta spend money to make money, though, right?
Yeah, and Carver brightens up a little. So, is this building classified as historical? Will I be able to, operate on it and do construction?
I mean, the only thing holding you back is your artistic conscience. I mean, sorry, have I just said something really, really stupid? I mean, does that mean nothing is holding back poor Carver?
Yeah, Carver looks a little shocked at the idea that he's like, is it just me? Although we were also quite fond of property 1. Do you think maybe property 1 would be willing to sell the shutters and the engraved canopy?
I think those objects are bound to the spirit of the house, let's say, or vice versa.
Hmm. Really did like that. And he starts to look a little off into the distance as he says that. And if either of you make eye contact, his eyes just something's not right. A little squaring of those pupils.
But Carver, you make a good run at this place, and in 2 years' time, you how'd you put it? You flip and move on, and hey, maybe whoever leases that gatehouse will not last as long as they think they will.
That's a thought. I mean, what if we rent both? I mean, we lease one and we buy the other?
I mean, are you really that stinking rich?
I could take out a loan.
Come on, in all serious, you gotta decide. You gotta pick one. No one's gonna give a YouTuber, no matter how famous their carpentry is, you know, two loans for two different properties, 20 miles apart. I think that might
You
be an
haven't
overstretch.
you haven't said though how much each one is. It's like we don't know until we know.
Well, I think this one is a stretch for you all. So the two. Hey, you talk to your bank. Maybe you want to buy both, but right now I'm going to sell one of these houses to you. Sell or lease, you know what I mean.
So here's a thought. Obviously, you two guys, and he's looking to Emma and Carver. You really like this property, and well, I could see myself, well, yeah, settling in as well. So if money is really an issue, we could just set up a Patreon, Patreon account for all of us, and if Emma is willing to create some new content that could be appealing to new followers.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be way different if my face is out there, and possibly even more. I mean, this house just kind of inspires like just a different way of thinking, I think. Yeah. I mean, that sounds good. I mean, if you're willing to do it. I mean, I get it if you're not.
Well, no, I'm fine. What's the worst thing that can happen?
True. Carver?
And Carver looks a little stuck. I'll trust you guys to make what's the best choice there. I just
If anything, I mean, again, just remember what you've always said. Gotta spend money to make money. We spend on this one, make some content, and then think of that content towards the other place. And maybe, I mean, like Noah said, I mean, if whomever ends up leasing it before we do, doesn't stay or whatever, then there's always that chance of going back to it.
Do you have someone lined up for the other place, Noah?
I really can't discuss the activity of my other clients. With you, as fond as I am of you all, I couldn't possibly break confidence.
Makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We'll sign for this place, and I'll get back to the other place sometime.
I'm sure you will.
I'll get back there. And like again, he gets that like slightly distant look in his eyes.
Okay. So let's fast forward to our epilogue 6 months later. So there's the realtor defeated the buyers in the chosen house. So we narrate like a series of snippets or vignettes, beginning and ending with the realtor. So I'll answer the question: how does the complication change the house over time? And then we'll cut to you. So I think the first few times you feel yourself in that glass bowl, it is kind of uncomfortable, and you're not quite ready to like surrender to that. But incrementally, it just becomes part of your life. Um, uh, and sometimes you're not even aware of it. Maybe when it happens or when it starts to happen, and maybe at the end, it's just like anything you get used to. It's just kind of in the background. So for you, you can all kind of describe what's going on. What does your life look like in the new house? How does the complication change your life, bringing you closer together? And how do you come to adapt? So I don't know if anyone is jumping to go first, or will we just do character keeper order? Okay, you got any ideas?
I'm still a little stuck in thought. Is there any chance we can go reverse character keeper
Sure.
order?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Matt?
can go
Okay.
as well.
That's Michael. Go first.
So I think Connell kind of adapted to the situation and changed his content to be more, let's say, about urban gardening on the rooftop, and that works out pretty well. But he still feels a bit unsure about the master bedroom, and he prefers to sleep somewhere else. But I think creating content with the others, that's quite successful.
Okay. Mads, how about Emma?
Yeah, I think, I mean, we really tweak our different areas and like kind of add the collab as like part of our channel, like kind of like interlude bits, like within our own content. And it's like maybe like a day in the life, or like this is what we're doing on Connell's garden up up on the roof, or the work that Carver's doing, like to work on the outside, or around the house. Emma is just kind of taking to the whole idea of she's feeling more free. I mean, like, she's adding her face to her content, and she's, anytime that weird shift happens where it looks like, the big person or whatever is looking in, she'll actually, you know, just merrily dive into the bath, or she will, like, uh take a running leap onto the bed, and then like kind of just like show like how comfortable it is. And it's almost like she's talking to herself, but she knows she's talking to that presence at large, literally. And she'll sometimes even wave. She'll like come up with little catchphrases, and she'll just kind of like wave at the presence and then go on with her day or night, whatever. So
Okay. How are you fixed?
Yeah. So I think it takes some time for Carver to kind of start to settle. It's clear he might have actually preferred the other place. And but slowly but surely he starts doing little things and finding things. In fact, he starts carving into the sort of plain molding there some interesting little square shapes.
I feel an urge to make a goat at that point.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
does Carver's visage change a little bit, like in thinking of this stuff, you know?
There's got to be a little snag, right?
He's in the wrong. He's in the wrong house for it.
But
Uh,
he's kind of like showing what his mood is. I mean, I think he's actually showing it's like, you know, where he wants to be.
Yeah. Yeah, his disposition isn't as starts to slowly sap some of that joy and that effervescent general nature as he keeps carving these little squares.
that's so sad. Uh, and my final question is, how does this victory help you accomplish your desire? And I think we see over time two things happen. One is Noah is like, maybe not a constant presence, but always there giving advice and steering people. Um, but then also, I think there's maybe eventually the day where he offers the other property to Carver, and it's like, this is the price, and who knows where that leads. Um,
I like that
so
spicy scene.
so that is it. Um, we have completed our game of Surreal Estate. Thanks very much for watching. I'm going to stop the recording and we do a very, very quick debrief because I know
Yes.
we're on the clock. So bye.